The moment Alina Veyron signed the marriage papers, she believed she had finally chosen peace over power. But peace has a way of hiding storms beneath its surface. She thought she had married an ordinary single father with tired eyes and a gentle smile. A man who packed school lunches and fixed broken door hinges on weekends. She had no idea that the quiet man beside her once commanded life and death decisions under burning skies, or that his past was only sleeping, not gone. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and hidden strength, take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Touch, because stories like this remind us that the heart often sees what the world overlooks. Alina Veyron was known in every business magazine as the Iron Orchid of the tech world. At 34, she had built a global logistics empire from nothing but a borrowed laptop and relentless discipline. Her days were filled with glass-walled boardrooms, daylight flights between cities, and decisions measured in millions. Yet despite the success, her mornings felt hollow. Sunlight would spill into her penthouse, but there was no warmth in it, only echoes. Love, to her, had always been transactional, a negotiation she was tired of losing. That was why she noticed Noah Halim, not because he was impressive, but because he was invisible to the world she lived in. Noah worked at a small daytime community library cafe near one of Alina's satellite offices. He was always there in the mornings, cleaning tables, helping children reach bookshelves, quietly correcting homework for kids whose parents worked double shifts. He had a son, Samir, who waited after school with a sketchbook and a grin that looked too big for his face. Noah never talked about himself, he listened. When Alina's espresso machine order went wrong, he apologized even though it wasn't his fault. When she complained about meetings, he asked if she had eaten. That was it. No flattery, no ambition aimed at her name. Their relationship unfolded slowly under soft daylight conversations and shared lunches. Alina found herself lingering, loosening her posture, laughing in ways that surprised her. Noah's life was simple, measured by school calendars and library shifts, and she admired it the way one admires a calm lake after years of storms. When she asked about his past, he said only that he had served once and changed the subject. She didn't press. She liked that he didn't lead with achievements. She liked believing that love could be quiet. They married in a modest daytime ceremony at a public garden, sunlight filtering through trees, Samir tossing flower petals with proud seriousness. Alina's colleagues whispered, confused by her choice. An ordinary dad, they said, a step down. Alina ignored them. She believed she had finally escaped the weight of expectations. For a while, life felt gentle. Mornings meant shared breakfasts, Samir's laughter echoing through the apartment, Noah fixing things with patient hands. Alina began leaving work earlier, rediscovering daylight beyond glass towers. Yet beneath Noah's calm was something tightly coiled. Sometimes, when a car backfired on the street below, his shoulders stiffened. Sometimes, he woke before dawn, staring at the ceiling as if counting something invisible. He never spoke of it. Alina told herself everyone had shadows. The change came on an ordinary day, bright and unremarkable. Alina was hosting a daytime product launch at a city convention center. Noah came along to support her, standing quietly at the back with Samir, who was sketching the crowd. Midway through the event, a sudden scream cut through the air. A structural failure on an upper rig sent metal crashing down, sparks flying, panic exploding across the hall. People surged toward exits, trampling banners, knocking over equipment. Security froze, overwhelmed. Before Alina could react, Noah moved. It was not the movement of a frightened civilian. It was precise, fast, commanding. He lifted Samir, handed him to a stunned staff member with calm instructions, then scanned the chaos with eyes that had seen worse. He pulled people away from falling debris, used his body as a shield, shouted directions that cut through panic like a blade. When a man was pinned under a beam, Noah braced it with impossible strength until help arrived. He coordinated evacuations, treated wounds with practiced efficiency, and never once raised his voice in fear. Alina watched, heart pounding, as the man she thought she knew transformed in daylight before her eyes. When the hall finally emptied and emergency crews took over, Noah stood to the side, hands shaking slightly, jaw clenched. Several responders approached him with recognition and respect. They called him Captain. They thanked him for textbook crisis management. Alina felt the ground shift beneath her certainty. That evening, in the quiet of their apartment as daylight faded into gold, Alina asked him who he really was. Noah sat for a long time before answering. He spoke of a military past buried by choice, not shame. Of leadership forged in conflict zones. Of missions that cost lives and saved others. Of a decision to walk away after losing his closest friend and realizing that surviving was not the same as living. He spoke of Samir's mother, of her death, of the promise he made to raise their son in sunlight, not sirens. The library cafe had been a refuge. Silence had been his armor. Alina listened, tears streaking down her face, not from betrayal, but from understanding how deeply she had misjudged him. She had thought she married ordinary because she needed safety. She hadn't realized she married extraordinary because he chose peace. But the past does not surface without consequences. News footage of the incident spread online. Old contacts resurfaced. A private security firm offered Noah a high-profile role. Military officials reached out, hinting at unfinished obligations. Alina's board grew nervous. Investors questioned her judgment. The same people who once mocked her choice now feared the attention Noah attracted. Alina faced a choice she had avoided all her life: protect her image or protect her family. Daylight meetings grew tense. She was advised to distance herself, to let Noah fade back into anonymity. Instead, she invited him to stand beside her at a company-wide address. In the full light of day, she spoke not of profits, but of values. She spoke of courage that chooses kindness, of strength that builds rather than dominates. She told them her husband, past, was not a liability, but a reminder that leadership begins with humanity. Noah struggled too. The offer to return to service tempted the part of him that missed purpose. But when Samir asked if he would still be there after school, Noah knew the answer. Purpose, he realized, was not found in command, but in presence. He declined the offers, choosing to remain exactly where he was, teaching kids, loving his family, living in daylight. The world slowly adjusted. The whispers faded. Alina's company didn't collapse, it evolved. Community programs expanded. Veterans were hired. The Iron Orchid softened without breaking. At home, Noah's nightmares lessened. He spoke more. Samir drew pictures of his dad as a superhero who read books. Just before the ending, please comment below and tell us what part of this story moved you the most. Your words might inspire someone else who needs hope today. On a bright afternoon months later, Alina watched Noah and Samir in the park, sunlight dancing around them. She realized that love had never been about choosing ordinary or extraordinary. It was about choosing truth, even when it scared you. She had married a man who carried war in his bones and peace in his hands, and that balance had saved them both. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that people are more than their pasts and love is braver than fear, please like, share, and engage with this video. Your support keeps stories like this alive on Kindness Touch, where second chances always find the light.